Quaker on Galaxy, Billy on Omega, and got Kush TV catching every single letter done. It's time to put this thing together. I done told you this, I'm over this. You think mental health, they can cope with this? Small businesses, they feeling the hopelessness. Yeah, I got a limited. Yeah, the work's limited. Started a new limited. You know they can't limit this. I'm out here changing the rules. Don't tell your enemy when you're making them moves, Blue. The public's lost faith in the governments. It's run by two fools, so everybody's doing what they choose. And this nurse came out and blew the whistle on them. She said, all them COVID deaths they's putting out's fake news. More like 3, not 300. Don't get me started on numbers. I was chatting to Chubby in Spanish Town. He said, cause he go and bun them. And Desi said, because he mash up the whole of London. Spanish Town dons, I'll soon come. Got some work to do here first with these new punks. You know, it's always gonna be pain when the truth comes. It's nice to see so many woke people all wanting the truth at once. Lockdown 2, episode 1. Stay tuned as they slip on them, you know this. Bada bada.
It was Christmas Eve, babe, in the drunk tank. An old man said to me, won't see another one. You're an old slut and junk lying there, almost dead on a drip in that bed.
You scumbag, you maggot, cheap, lousy faggot. Happy Christmas, you're outside, they got it all love.
The boys in the NYPD chorus still singing Galway Bride, and the bells were ringing out on Christmas Day. I could have been someone.
Well, so could anyone. You took my dreams from me when I first found you.
I kept them with me, babe.
Oh, well, that's your business.
Bada. I don't know what to say to you guys, man. You know, Christmas was meant to be, Christmas was meant to be here. It's not something that you can just cancel, like it doesn't actually exist. It's what's worse is it kind of like you can see that it was a made-up thing. I mean, how can you say to yourself that this thing doesn't exist when it's supposed to just be? If you follow what I mean, I sounded like a rhyme there. It's meant to just be. It just is Christmas, but apparently Christmas can be cancelled. I never thought I would actually see that day. I think it's one thing to kind of like say to yourself, well, I'm not going to celebrate it because it's a pagan ritual. But if you're saying that this man lived, then how can you deny him? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. It's like it was just made up. Where did, I mean, now it's like saying that nobody can't move, nobody can't do anything. It's sad. It's sad on a lot of levels. I know exactly how everybody's kind of like feeling. You know, it's not surprising. Not surprising. Weak government. Do you know what I mean? Weak. It's like, you know, it was a joke when Boris got put into power. It was a joke, and no one's laughing anymore. Everybody stopped laughing. The only people who are laughing are international companies who own all these online services that are now being offered to you, like things are okay, like things are all right. Empty your bank account. At the beginning of December, when we went into when they said, "Oh, you guys will be able to have Christmas for a couple of days," kind of like thing, and then there's going to be free in certain parts of the country, and I was saying it's like a noose is being put around our neck, and it's gradually getting tighter and tighter. And just like Christmas got made up, as I said earlier on, tier 4 has now been made up. I say made up. I haven't seen you in a long time, Sean. A very long time. Yeah, because that's that tier 4 has just been made up. And you have to start asking yourself why. Morning, Martin. Morning, Carol. Dover is shut down. Yeah, Dover ain't the only place that's shut down, because they're saying that France won't accept anybody coming in. The world has been shut down. The world has been shut down. And so people are starting to say, you know, we were talking about a pandemic. I feel a bit all over the place because I'm really confused. We were talking about a pandemic, and I feel as though I'm seeing a plan being rolled out. Because like I said, at the beginning of December, it was like, yeah, tier 3 is the worst that it can get. But we were saying, for joke's sake, it can go to tier 5. There'll be a tier 5. There'll be a tier 5. Tier 5 is when they will force, I use the word force, because that's how tight the noose has come around everybody's neck now. Now you can't have Christmas. Now you can't have Christmas. So that's the noose getting tighter. I just can't believe this. You can't have Christmas. I mean, I wasn't going to celebrate it anyway. I'll be honest with you. But to see that they've got everybody on lockdown like this, because 90, this is true. 97% of the population are now walking the street with the mask on. 97%. And it's now seen as natural behavior. Do you see how they're controlling the mind? They're controlling the mind. The narrative on the news and the coming out of the celebrities and everybody is one of a movement towards taking this vaccine, towards taking it, and getting people to literally start asking for it, not knowing why they're really asking for it. Because the numbers that we all saw before earlier on were one of, yes, people are dying. I'm not saying that people are not dying. Please don't misunderstand me. People are dying, okay? But not to the extent that they're talking about. But when you look in the newspapers, yeah, the first thing that you see is UK report single day record of 35,928 new COVID cases, not new COVID deaths. And even then we worked out that around this time of the year, people normally catch a cold. You start catching colds from around September. It sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. It sounds like a plan. Because once you've turned in everybody into wearing masks and everything, then it means anybody who isn't wearing a mask, all of it, automatically is the people doing harm to everybody else. Because the numbers. Remember when we was being told that the numbers were incorrect, they were making them up. Never forget that nurse who left her job because of some sensitive information that she found on the computers, and how the hospitals were told that any kind of ailment or illness is to be recorded underneath COVID. Now, I know I'm not as articulate as some of the scientists, some of the doctors, etc. But the Lord gave me intuition, and the Lord gave me common sense. And I'm talking about the universe now, because the universe does talk to you. And it's a case of whether or not you want to listen to it, or if you want to listen to a man. There are over 40 different types of vaccines that are out there currently being worked on. 40 different types. And the company that got through was Pfizer. And who is invested in Pfizer? We tracked and traced to find out who has investments in Pfizer. It turns out it's a man who made money in in computers. Who is not a scientist, but yet for all is part of the heads of the World Health Organization. It sounds like a business strategy move from somebody who wants to make more money. Even though it means closing down small businesses and crushing them, which is another strategy that business people use when they set up shop next door to another business and reduce their prices for as long as they can until the other company or the other business has to close down. It's like another business strategy. So now they've got everybody at home and they've made up tier 4. Tier 4 means that nobody can go nowhere. So what's going to happen when it's time to go back to work? Tier 5 is going to come out. Tier 5 now is going to be a case of, oh, you know what? If you want to go to work, well, if you want to go to work, and we don't want to spread the virus, do you know what I mean? Because all of a sudden everyone's going to be mixing and mingling again. It means that you're going to have some sort of passport. This is something that we spoke about nearly 4 months, right at the beginning of COVID. No, let's go right back. Let's go right back to May. Let's go right back. Let's even get up to March. And let's look at what we were discussing then to where we are now. And I don't think if I go back to any of the shows and I pull up what we were talking about then, that's what I should have done actually when I'm thinking about it, and state what was said then, and then look at what's happened now, and you will see that what we were talking about back then is now transpiring now. So even though legally and with reference to our civil rights, yeah, we shouldn't be denied anything because you don't wish to take the vaccine. People are going to say, because remember, they got 97% of people wearing masks. The people are going to say it should be something that we put into law, so that everybody ends up taking the vaccine. When there were alternatives that was put forward in terms of how you could deal with this strain, because it's a form of cold which affects your respiratory system, as you already know. I'm not teaching you, not telling you anything you don't already know. When there was alternative measures that came out, and doctors around the world were saying, you know what, there's another way that we could deal with this. These doctors were just struck off. Like all their hard work that they did to get to where they got to meant nothing, because there was people who had the power or were in a position to discredit them. And when you explain this to people, they tell you that you're chatting bollocks. It's like you never were given a chance to have an alternative view or even consider an alternative view. Because I think that if Boris Johnson really did feel that it was necessary to lock down, and he really was 100% sure, yeah, then he would have locked us down from the beginning, and he would have just stuck to his guns. But you know, when somebody's unsure and they go backwards and forwards, it's like when somebody's considering whether or not they're going to cross the road. Should I go? Shouldn't I go? Shouldn't I go? Shouldn't I go? Should I go? Shouldn't I? Then boom, they get licked down. That's how Boris has got us, because Boris is the guy who's trying to cross the road, and he's going backwards and forwards, and we're getting confused. But that confusion is costing lives. It's costing. It's just unbelievable. I mean, how can people go 1 minute go back to work, thinking that they're okay to go back to work, and then all of a sudden can't go back to work. How is it then, you know, that nothing, even up to this point, nothing has been put in place for people who fall through the net of being able to be furloughed? How are they surviving? What about all the people who are waiting for operations who can't have them because the wards have been swamped? With people with COVID, you know, with COVID cases. Why is it that when we saw, you know, all the when there was actually taking the tests, that there was all this contamination that was going on when the samples were being passed around, and then people were being sent letters telling them that how all of a sudden now, yeah, you got COVID. It's a mess, because it's a mess in my head, because I don't understand what the frig is going on. What about the guy who sent a COVID test in, right? Never took blood from somewhere else and it came back positive, and it had nothing to do with him. What about all the track and trace that was been going on? I mean, people say that, oh, it's not controlled because they're controlling us anyway because we got phones. So we're chatting shit. So everybody's at home now, yeah? People that are at home now. Right. The vaccine will not be mandatory. That's nice for you to say, bruv. I agree. I hear the vaccine won't be mandatory, but there will be restrictions, won't there? There will be restrictions. So even though you're saying that the vaccine won't be mandatory, right? They will say that a business is entitled to say who can or cannot get on their transportation, who can or cannot get into their cab, who can or cannot get into their building. Because that's what's coming next. That's what's coming next. So it's all well and good you saying, oh, it won't be mandatory. We don't know that, because that's what they said legally that they can't do. But they will give the businesses the right to say whether or not you can come to their building. There are other ways. They say there's more than one way to skin a cat. Morning, Natasha. Morning, Shugs. Shugs, could you check out Sean Planter for me? Yeah. Check that brother out at one Dessa. Yeah. This one, yes, sir. Check him out. Yeah. Morning, Trace. How you doing? Mumbly. Does it sound mumbly? It's not that it's mumbly, babes. It's just that you know, I'm trying to pick what I'm saying, and for us to have just gone into tier 4 when tier 4 never existed, yeah, makes you sit and wonder. Because I'm thinking through what I'm saying all at the same time, you see. Once again, the elite control the subordinate masses as they turn them into sheep. They fall into line by acquiescence. If my peers do, then I need to do it without any consideration for self. That's what I'm talking about, in a sense. That's what I'm talking about. It's how they get you to fall into line. You know? Questions. How come I have only heard that the UK only have this new strain? France and other countries in the EU have banned people from the UK because of this new strain. What is so special about the UK? like always, the UK always want to be first. The UK always want to be first. We want to be ahead of the curve, because when we check that the world's financial markets come to England. They come to England. The stock exchange and everything began around here. Yeah, so this is where all the money is. So if the financial institutions get it right here, and we know that the vaccine is being financed through here, it doesn't matter that all these people live in different countries, their money comes through here. Then once it rolls out, the money comes back here, because we don't build nothing here. We don't manufacture nothing here. It's just insurance and finance which makes this country. Because the UK farmed out everything. At one point, remember, first of all, the West Indies was the factories of the UK, right? Better known as plantations, right? Yeah. Then they sort of like gave you independence, but we never really had independence because they made the West Indies pay back all the farmers, all the slave owners, right, up until about 2015. Then they went over to China, and then all our toys back in the day, right up to the 70s, coming into the 90s, was made in Hong Kong. That became their factories. What do we actually produce in the UK? Nothing. Easy to contain on an island. Well, England is the guinea pig now. England is the guinea pigs. Even in the Caribbean now, they are turning around and saying, "Yes, watch England." We are go watch England. You know, we are go watch England. We now take no vaccine. We are go, and I like the move. I freaking like the move. Let's watch and see what happens to them when they get a cock growing out of their ear. Yeah, because them lot have now done their research. They've done their research to find out exactly who is actually suing the likes of Bill Gates and Pfizer, right, for the problems that they've caused in Africa, for the problems that they've caused in India. This is stuff that we were talking about before. How much of billions of pounds have Pfizer paid out? If I was a businessman, it's an ideal business to go in. You understand? When you can set yourself up with the right paperwork, so as that if things go wrong, it doesn't come back on you. It doesn't come back on you. Millions of people have died through that company, and they're not accountable for it. And even if they are, they got enough money to pay off for it. People are saying that, oh, we've rushed through the vaccine. We've been able to rush through the vaccine because we've been able to speed up the process. And the reason why I've been able to speed up the process is because the amount of money it takes to speed up the process. And not everybody can do that. Not everybody can play that game. But Pfizer can play that game. But it doesn't matter how much you speed it up. My common sense tells me it doesn't matter how much you speed it up. You need time to find out whether or not a vaccine is going to have an effect on people. You need time. It's not a case of how many. Oh, before it used to cost X amount, so we could only test it on like 100 people. But now that we've got the money, we could test it on 1 million people. What about the time it's going to take to find out how this is going to affect the people? Because once they roll it out, money got to be paid out. Money has to be paid out. And you know how them lot say when they write down their paperwork, because like I said, the West Indian Islands are only just coming out of what they got to pay back for being taken out of their own country, stripped of their history, stripped of their language. This is Kay Clark saying there's no new strain. They're trying to get a panic over people to take the vaccine. This is what it's me one. I'm glad to say it's now me one think that we're there. And then we'll start dropping like flies as COVID didn't kill enough people, old and poor. And what gets me is that they're saying the first people they're trying it out on is the old people, who've got the lowest immune system anyway. So when them people they die off, it's like, oh, well, it wasn't the vaccine that did it. It's just that that person was old. Oh, you saw it, innit? Jamaica, love it. Little but with tongue, you know, with tongue. They just told them straight, we are go watch England. We are go watch England. See what England I go do. Make them take it first. Isn't that what I was saying? So I'm not just repeating it because he said it. I've done said it. I will watch for 5 years and see what I've won. I decided I'm gonna even, you know, put myself through that because with my second daughter, my oldest daughter, you know, I don't have no say if they decide that they want to take the vaccine because they're big enough to make up their own mind. I will tell them what I think. By the way, big shout out for all of those who know. Heartfelt shout out goes out to Quincy comedian and also Richard Blackwood comedian who lost one of their parents, not both parents, they each lost a parent over the weekend. Quincy lost his to COVID, by the way. So don't think that I'm just chatting for chatting's sake. I know people are dying of COVID. It's not that I don't know. My thing is, why are people dying of COVID? Yeah. People are saying that, oh, strains happen and they come and, you know, infections do arise out of nowhere. Nothing arrives out of nowhere from what I've seen. Nothing arrives out of nowhere. Nothing just comes into existence. Because everything that we see is man-made. Everything that you see. When you open your eyes and the moment you open your eyes in your room, everything you see is man-made. It's not in its natural state. The COVID strain has been around for years. My sister-in lives, Jackie says, my sister-in lives in Tanzania. She cannot believe what's happening in the UK. COVID is not even spoke about there. Thank God for the internet, eh? Thank God for the internet, eh? Because if we didn't have the internet, we can't get that kind of information. We would be in total ignorance, but we're not. We're not in total ignorance because that's what I was saying. That's what was so surprising for them when they were getting the kickback. Thing that has really come out of COVID, I have to say, is 100% positive. 100% positive is that people are communicating more. People are talking more. People are more connected. And that's what we have to hold on to and communicate and talk with one another. You know? I mean, there's a thing out there right now called the hidden sciences, yeah? I would have put it up for you lot, yeah? But there are moles around us right about now, yeah? There are moles around us right about now, yeah? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link. I'm going to hit up the Rants and Bants, and we are going to share this, yeah, just as a message via Messenger, yeah. So when the crew start putting stuff out, yeah, they will send it to your Messenger, yeah. You can sit down and you can watch it. It's 3 hours, all right. You will get a balanced view on what's going on, yeah. But me now share it in Yasa, yeah. Because there are moles in here. You understand? Because like I said, sometimes we got to look to ourselves for what we need. Or an alternative point of view. And I'm not giving you an alternative point of view. I'm going to give you a balanced point of view. Okay? I'm going to give you a balanced point of view. I'm going to share it with the Rants and Bants and the Rants and Bants in Messenger, and they will share it with you in Messenger. All right? And then you can come to your own conclusions. We're talking about black scientists, black doctors talking to you. Some of them were born here in the UK. Yeah. Some of them from Uganda. All right. Using the words of Dr. Sebi. Some of them are using the words of Dr. Sebi. Okay. Because this Christmas thing is a bullshit. It's a bullshit. It's a way to make money. Christmas has always been about a way to make money under the guise of Jesus Christ. And even when the Christians were talking about it and trying to hold their church services and everything, they were being vilified. They were being told that they're right wing and left wing and our kind of wing there. And all these wings is a load of bullshit as well. Because right wing people, if they keep on going right, you go in a full circle. If you keep on going left, you go in a full circle. So it doesn't matter whether you're right wing or it doesn't matter whether you're left wing. It doesn't matter whether you're centered. Yeah, it comes down to who you culturally believe is correct. Yeah, and white is not always right. Because that's what we were taught to believe. Let's talk about just human beings. Because these people don't care. They don't care whether you're black, white. They don't even care what class you're in. The only thing they care about is money. Yeah, and if you ain't got enough money to play the game, then you can't be in their gang. Look at the recent video recorded in Jamaica. That's what I'm talking about. A minister had said, let the UK take it. We in Jamaica will wait and see what happens before we take it. But this is what I'm trying to say. It's like, do we necessarily have to wait for somebody in a high position to say something that a layman has already said? I'm a layman. I know that. Yeah, I don't hold office. But then there are other people who are similar to myself. That's why this evening I'm going to be talking to Marky Mark, and I'm going to be talking to Eddie Nesta in the Keep It Real show. Marky Mark is a layman, but wisdom falls out of his mouth. The man talks with Caribbean sayings, right? Because he knows that he's sitting on the shoulders of his peer group. He knows he's sitting on the shoulders of his elders. When we start talking to man like Kwaku and them lot, you're going to think that we're back in Egypt again because of the words that start coming out of their mouth. When we get into radio presenter Aston Martin James, you're going to hear the same thing again. Spirituality is going to start coming out. And we're going to be almost talking in our own tongue, even though it's English that's coming out of our mouths. But I can't speak anything else because of what was taken away from me. So this is the only way that I can communicate. It's the only way that I know how. Because I don't know any other language. I didn't have a choice. It's what my parents brought me into the world with. And it's what their parents brought them into the world with. And it's what their parents' parents brought them into the world with. And it's what their parents' parents brought them into the world that is. So when we used to sit down and laugh, listen to this. Oh, they're singing, hark now, hear the angels sing, a king is born today. And man, so all of a sudden they're now allowing the media to start telling us about Christmas Day and Jesus Christ and all this bullshit. Meanwhile, they're telling you got to stay at home. Meanwhile, they're telling you that your businesses out there are crashing. Meanwhile, they're telling you that there are people who are waiting for operations who can't have operations because there are people out there, yeah, who are herding us around like cattle. And so long as those people on TV get paid so that they can go to these shops on Amazon and eBay and all them things there and get what they want, they don't give a fuck. They're getting paid. But there's a lot of people out here who ain't going to be able to get paid. There's a lot of people who ain't going to be able to get on transportation. There's going to be a lot of people who ain't going to be able to go back to work because tier 5, tier 6 is on its way. So you could play the game of saying, oh, it won't be mandatory because it'd be law. You've already got 97% of the population doing what you want anyway. So when I walk out on the street as 3%, I know everybody's looking at me. I know the sacrifices that I'm making currently at the moment. Half of the friends who I thought were friends are no longer friends. And these are people that I've been moving around with since 1992. And the only difference between me and them is the color of my skin. When Black Lives Mattered and everything was going off, I never heard a word from these people. The silence was loud. But the moment I start saying, oh, well, I don't think, you know, I don't think the government is really on our side. I don't understand why they want black people just to be the first to take the vaccine and blah, blah, blah. I'm chatting shit. I'm the racist. Rudi, we don't know where you're coming from anymore. And then they become their little gang, their little clique. And then all of a sudden, I'm out there by myself. But I've always been out there by myself, so it never really mattered anyway. Because I don't walk in the footsteps of I walk in my own footsteps. I don't want to be part of the gang. I never was part of the gang. I only came in this because I was listening to shit on TV about my people, yeah? So I wanted to rebalance that shit and talk about you lot the same way you lot talk about us. And I can do it in comedy too. I don't even know how to pronounce that word, Paul. You have to forgive me, bruv. Trevor's asking, my thing is, how come this virus got worse only in this country? Well, like I said, man, bruv, once this country does this thing, because remember, everybody talks in English, everyone does business in English. Laws are written down through English again. They will roll it out. Because they will go, see, look, we got it right. Now you lot got to buy it off us. Marky Mark talks a lot of sense. And as you know, common sense is not always common, which is I've had to say to a lot of people. I've had to say that to a lot of people. To make money, you have to target the American market. No, I'm sorry, bruv. To make money, they're not targeting the American market anymore. It's a global market. They've targeted the world. It's called world domination. It's called control. It's called the New World Order. We normally see this in science fiction movies. To make money in medical, you need to target chronic conditions that are oh boy. You know something, you're not telling us nothing we don't know. You ain't telling us nothing we don't know. Not new, bruv. Talk, Rudi, talk. I love to see your face, Carol. You haven't even got a little image on there. You haven't even got an image on there. Good morning, Ian. Good morning, my friend. How you doing? Thanks for passing through. Looking forward to talking to you later on. Really looking forward to talking to you later on. I've got 2 heavyweights coming on later on. I'm so looking forward to this. I am so looking forward to this. You know, one talking at the ghetto, another one can talk to mainstream and traverse back into the ghetto. Such a hard thing to do, but it's something that everybody does when they go to work. You got to play the game. You got to play the game. You got to play the game. Oh my God, I can't believe. Morning breakfast playing Don't Worry About a Thing. Bob Marley. Every little thing's going to be all right. Is it really? Is it really going to be all right? Is it going to be all right for that little old lady who's been told that on Christmas Day no one can come and see her? Is it going to be all right for those people who are in hospital and nobody can't even get past that little polythene just to touch them? I can't believe that there are people out there who haven't touched their parents in months. I think Shoe Doctor opened up and told us that last Wednesday. His mum and dad love him. His mum, he's a big man, but his parents love him to the point where they would leave food on his doorstep. And they won't go close. Because of what we've been told. And they're trying to abide by the rules. It's irresponsible to talk any other way. Because that's how the narrative has been pushed now. It's irresponsible to talk any other way apart from the way that the government wants you to talk. But yet for the head of our government is going backwards and forwards. Like I said, when he's trying to cross the road, he don't know whether to cross the road or not. He's so indecisive about everything. Hey, watch how you talk to my mum, Carol. I said, me can't see her face. Hello, baby. Don't worry. From the time Natasha has told us who you are, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. They'll make money for years off this with long COVID sufferers because there's going to be all the other chronic illnesses that's going to come with it. Remember, they don't when we go into the pharmacist, or especially when we go to the pharmacist, I would say, yeah, they don't actually cure you. They don't actually they see that there's a symptom and then they get you to take certain things that's going to make you come back and ask for more. Because that's how business works in terms of rehashing. The term used to be like to rehash. You sell something to somebody once and then you sell to them again and you sell to them again. You don't actually cure. Doctor said he cured. That means you don't come back. And therefore, if you don't come back, that means I can't make no more money off you. But that wasn't his objective. Doctor said he dead now. Doctor said he gone. Like Marcus Garvey gone. Like Toussaint Louverture's gone. Where they lulled these brains, they lulled them into coming into the European side of things, and then they just took them away and threw them in prison or killed them and love your Sunday show. Hello. What Sunday shows are you talking about? Because I don't do Sunday shows, Verona. But ED does. And we all say respect to that. We all say respect to that. Because that man carries a message for us that we can't carry. And he takes it out into the mainstream. And we love him for that. Yes, I can't see my children now. I was so disappointed. And Effie's in hospital. She's recovering from a stroke. Effie is somebody who's normally we have on our shows in the morning on a Saturday. And she's also does Anything Goes on a Wednesday. She does her show from her sick bed, actually. And she's traveled the world. Very spiritual young lady. Thank you very much. Yeah, work it now. This thing has got people twisted. You can't touch your parents. My father is 90 still here, and gets kisses all the while, but yet I will be irresponsible for spreading a true fact. FO. And shall hold back panono. Shall hold back. You get you know what I mean? You get one chance at this life, man. One chance. You know? It's either you're gonna let somebody else dictate it for you, you're gonna dictate it for yourself. They say life is what you make it. Life is not what other people make it. 100. 100. Because there's no business like it. And once you've got evil people who are in that business, they don't care about people. I've been to Afghanistan. I've been to Iraq, okay? I've sat down in officers' messes, all right? Not often I talk about it, yeah? And I've heard the way that they've spoken to some of those soldiers. About those soldiers. And what they really care about. All I care, right, is that when I tell him to go over the wall, he goes over the fucking wall, right? That's all I care about. The moment he goes over that wall and he gets shot, it's not just him that's died, it's his family that's died. It's his daughter, it's his wife, it's his mother, it's his brother and sister. It's those people's, his brothers and sisters' children. It affects all of those people. And the military are only doing the works of whatever the government or whatever conglomerate or organization is behind the government, pushing them to do what they want them to do. I mean, we could, when we talk about places like the Middle East, for example, and we talk about the resources that are there, when we start talking about the coups that took place in all of the 51 African nations, even though you see it appears as though it's black on black crime, you have to ask yourself, how did the guns get there in the first place? But it's not too difficult to really work out when you start to follow the money, and then you realize that they're either talking French, Spanish, English, Dutch. Morning, Carl, man. How you doing, bruv? You good? Good to see you, bro. Organized chaos, Rudy. It's simple. Follow your guts, people. The thing is, nothing has changed. Like you said, Rudy, medicine is not invented to cure. It's all about the money. The sooner people accept that they don't give a about us, the better. No, they stopped caring about people a long time ago. From the time we had the Industrial Revolution and they used to push children up chimneys. They used to push the little kids underneath the cotton mills. Yeah? It was one thing to treat Africans inhumanely, but when you also start treating your own inhumanely, that's when you got to worry about Africans, because I'm like, if that's how you're going to treat your own. Hand drawn and quarter. I remember sitting down at school reading that thing and thinking, rah, you would do that to Jesus Christ. I'm glad I weren't born in this time, blah, 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 blah. But then that's what they were doing to their own. They used to hang people's heads from Tower Bridge on spikes. And that's what they were doing to their own. So imagine what they were doing to the Africans is even worse. We already know what they were doing to the Africans. Don't have to wait for Black History Month to tell us that. So if they were doing that to people then, what do you think they would do to people now? This is a global pandemic we're talking about here. Global pandemic this is. Because if we can talk to people who are in Tanzania and we're just common folk, but we don't have the mindset of global domination, but yet we can still communicate. Imagine what people who do have that mindset for global control. And the moment you want to start talking like this, people want to shut you down. People want to shut you down. painful that the children are still accepting this as normal. They don't have no choice. It's like when we came to school, we just felt that it was normal to be below our counterparts. It was just normal to us because that's what we were born into. Them were like, I feel sorry, they haven't even had a childhood, some of them. My daughter's just come back from university, yeah? Spent most of it in the frigging dorm and stuff like that. Supposed to be running up and down, going parties, you know what I mean? Doing their studies, don't get me wrong, right? But feeling what it's like to be independent and all of that. You know what she's done since she's come home? This is no word of a lie. She's come home, right? She spends most of the time in her room. Might come out for maybe 2 hours and mess about with her sister and what have you, but she spends most of her time in her room. And for me, that's like learnt behavior. It's learnt behavior. Oh, we're just cocooned in a little one space. But I know slowly in my own household, like the house will become a house again because she only came back about 2 days ago. But for me, what I'm seeing is learnt behavior. It makes tears want to run down my eyes. That's what it makes tears want to run down my eyes. My little girl comes home from school and she has to come through the front door and she has to walk through the passage, then she has to go up the stairs, then she's got to come round and she's got to come up another stairs. By the time she comes and she gets to me, she's got a fucking mask on and she's at home. She's left school. It's normal. The same way that they will tell you, it's going to reach a point where it's going to be normal to make love to a 13-year-old child, 12-year-old child. It's normal. And they will wheel out one African after another who has got, who is married to a 13-year-old child until you say how this is wrong and how that is wrong. It only becomes right once they make it law. It'll be all right then, because we've made it law, so that's fine. So things are only sanctioned when we sanction it. Even though us black people would say, no, that's wrong. You shouldn't. No child should be treated like she's some sort of adult or passed across, right? Irrespective of what our cultural knowledge was back in the day, we have moved forward, we have evolved, and we have come to the conclusion that no, a child is a child and should always be a child. So even though the Africans are maybe behaving that way, we as Africans can turn around and say, well, no. But it will only be sanctioned when it is sanctioned in law in the UK, in English, by the way. What time is it? That's interesting. Also, people have to come together and unite. These rules are guidelines only, not law. We, the people, are the power, but we have been programmed from birth to follow. From birth. And they even use that. And when this is the thing about the English language. When they use the word birth alone, it means to come out of the water. And then they put a certificate on it. And they say, well, now that you've been birthed, you've been born, and we've given you a number, you belong to the country. Your life is not even your own. That's why there's a death tax. There's actually a death tax. When you die and you are no longer here, you are still paying tax because this country is supposed to own you. Like they gave you life. Antigua's only now you come. Morning. Eh? But make sure that you look pass through this evening. Like I said, I'm going to play this early because I want people to catch it.
My soul
So ain't nobody got no excuses for not being able to turn up later on. It's going to be an interesting talk, man. We've got to start communicating. We've got to start talking to one another. We've got to start supporting each other. Yeah, I'm sure, 110% sure that we can create our own economy. Yeah, we don't have to sit back and wait on other people.
We are proud to announce the launch of the first British black-owned search engine called Black Search. So if you're looking for anything related to the black community, whether that be bloggers, podcasters, news, history, business, black directories, marketplaces, products and or services, simply visit www.blacksearch.net and you will find whatever it is you are looking for. Black Search, helping to make black-related or black-owned websites more accessible to the world.
Yeah, because we've stepped up. We've stepped up. We need to realize now that we've stepped up. Yeah, it's time now that the elders who have reached in position of heights now start to utilize that for self. Yeah, not to fill somebody else's pocket. Yeah, it's time that we start doing that now. Yeah, if you can turn around and just tell me that Christmas is over, then fuck you. It's time that we start doing something. Yeah, we start guiding the youth them. They need to start to listen. They ain't your friends. Your kids are not your friends. Yeah, they're your children. You understand? We've stepped up, man. That's why everybody was so upset with Steve McQueen, because he had a chance to do something with Lovers Rock, which was very British, and make it what it should have been. Yeah, there are people who are stepping up in other areas. We don't have to accept mediocrity. We really don't.
You've only got one shot. Make it count. Make it count. Make it count.
That's right. One shot at life. Make it count. One shot at life. Make it count. That's all I'm saying. Otherwise, we're just going to accept every and anything that's been thrown at us. And I do understand that we have to live. And I do understand why we're wearing the mask. I do. There's only few of us who are prepared to make that choice and be the 3%. Because not everybody can. We all die if we all think and behave in that way, in that manner. But like I said, there are certain people out there who are in control of their own destiny to a certain extent. I thought I was in control of my destiny. And then all of a sudden, all my work just disappeared. Even though I was saying to myself, yeah, I'm self-employed, but I was very much reliant on other people. Because that's how the world works. You're reliant on other people. Yeah, no man is an island. But you're entitled to be free thinkers. Don't let nobody take that away from you. Don't let what's going on the TV right about now, you know, make you feel that, oh yeah, we're supposed to be taking the back. Oh yeah, we're supposed to. Why are we supposed to? Who said that you're supposed to? Well, like I said, in Messenger, something's going to start flying around. Yeah? Something's going to start flying around. And when it starts flying around, I want it to fly around. I want it to go wild. I want it to go all over the place. But it should be in places just like this. Because we have our own platform now. Our money doesn't have to go 180 degrees outside of the community. Because we've always been trying to integrate. And I believed in integration. I genuinely did. I was all for it. Because I just saw us as one race, one human race. And I still do to a certain extent. But I'm so much aware that the history has already segregated the world. And I have to accept that. But I have to ask myself, what does that then mean? Doesn't mean that I can't do business. Doesn't mean I can't get on with people. Valentine, who was on last week's show, explained that to us. When John Boyega said what he said, yes, I understand that he was emotional. Yes, I understand that he wanted to say certain things, but he was in a position where he could have influence, the same way Steve McQueen is in a position where he could have influence. And it's how you use that position. And he used it to the point where he was the guy who produced Love Island for Greece, I believe it was. He was saying we got to learn how to box clever. Like the week before, we had Orlando, who was on, and he took G-Spot to a level whereby when he ended up sitting next to the big players, global players, that he was blocked by one of his own. He was blocked by one of our own. He was talking like, yeah, and then all of a sudden things couldn't work. I'm thinking, what's this white guy who got in your way, man? Really? No, it was a black guy. So everybody who friend is not friend. But yeah, we have to start create our own thing, listen to our own scientists, listen to our own doctors, come to our own conclusions. But we live here, so we have, what is it? When in Rome, do as the Romans do. And that's the situation that we find ourselves in. Doesn't mean, though, that we have to let go our heritage. Doesn't mean we have to let go none of that. Sean, please listen. Instead of talking, we are far ahead on this topic. Thank you very much. That's what I'm trying to explain to you, Sean. Blessings, Paul. Blessings, blessings, blessings. We're way ahead of that. We've gone past that, bro. There's no such thing as black on black crime. No, there's just crime. That's all there is, crime. No, we're not saying that you need to listen and comply. We're saying that you need to just listen, mate. That's all you need to do. Just listen. Because we've been listening to you fuckers for years. Wow. In Uganda, there was a culture where visitors can take young women as a gift for their visits, usually 7 days. I've been advocating change. It's a global phenomenon to mistreat people. Yeah. Yeah. That's what we're saying. We totally agree. But yet, for in this country, they want to turn around and say, let's reduce the age. But then they want to hang us out like shopping on a line and say, oh, look what these people are doing. Look at what these people do. Until they sanction it and say it's okay, then it will become okay. Like, we can't think for ourselves. You can believe in one human race, but also be aware that there aren't so open-minded. That's people, innit? That's people, innit? Because a lot of minds have been closed. We did some filming the other day, and I got embarrassed. I really got embarrassed. I really, really got embarrassed, right? Because they were filming in my house, and I bought my mum a picture of baby Jesus in the manger, and it's a black baby Jesus and everything, right? Because my mum had this, the supper and everything, where you see Jesus and everything, right? And the intention when I bought that painting for my mum was that I was going to take that the old painting and burn it. Yeah, and then I see that my mum took that painting and she put it in the dining room, because that's all she knows. That's what she was brought up to believe. And it's those little subtle, subliminal messages that gets put across. And yet, for my mum talks very, very, she was the one who pushed all the history books in front of me and stuff like that. about Egypt and about Africa and about, you know, how he traversed the world and everything. But despite all of that, she's still holding on to the fact that Jesus is white. But she wouldn't think that she is. But the sheer fact that she can't burn that picture or destroy that picture tells me so. Please don't use me like that, yeah? Don't use me like that. Speak in your own name, yeah? Please don't. Because that's my image, yeah? Preach. Send to me the amount of people who are taking this vaccine without research. It's enough people stand up. They can't make you do anything. They can't make you do anything, you know. But like I said, they can maneuver us in a way so that all we can do is what the crowd is doing. That's all we can do. You know? Not for me data, sorry, not for me data. Time to labor now. Have a blessed day, people. Really big up, respect, Trev. Hope you're going to tune in later on, man. I hope you pass through on Wednesday, Trevor. Yeah, that's when we have our last Anything Goes for the year. We're going to have Jackie Williams on the panel. We're also going to have Capone on the panel. Looking forward to having those guys on the panel. We're going to have the Rants and Bants crew passing through. We're going to have messages coming in and out from past people who've been on the panel, from Keep It Real, and also on Anything Goes. So it won't be like an ordinary show, but it will be like an ordinary show. It won't be about Christmas, but it will be about Christmas because Christmas is happening, but not from that point of view that we believe this is what it is, because Christmas, as far as I'm concerned, is in tatters in terms of what it's supposed to be, what it's supposed to mean. You know? Later's going to be greater. A great one. I hope so, you know. I hope I'm not billing it up and then it turns out to be a squish. Because I guess that could happen too. Do you know what I mean? Regardless of whether baby Jesus is black or white, it's still blasphemy to your mum to destroy it. Yes, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It really is. But it shows just how deep-rooted things can be. You know? It just goes to show, man. I slowly replaced my mum's picture of Jesus. You want to follow him, then follow our own kind. Last thing I got her was a calendar. You have to drip feed them, Rudi. You have to drip feed them. And it's weird because sometimes you have these conversations and you think, oh, mum, you're on it. Do you know what I mean? But it's like deep down, it's like she's well, no, I'm not sure. You know? It's a weird one. Right, somebody sent me something. Let me see now. What have you sent me?
Controversy after making comments which could undermine public confidence in a COVID-19 vaccine.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play something because this is not what I'm going to pass around to the Rants and Bants. This is something that has just come in from a trusted friend of mine, and I trust him explicitly, without question. So.
Politician has courted controversy after making comments which could undermine public confidence in a COVID-19 vaccine. Mayor of Maypen, Winston Mirage, said it is safer that Jamaicans will get to see what happens to other people in other countries after they take the vaccine. He made the comment while addressing a function in Chopperton, Clarendon recently.
We understand that there is a vaccine out, more than one vaccines around. But, you know, sometimes when something new come out, you can't just run into it because you don't know what effects it might have on you. So we want the big countries, them like America and Canada and England. Go ahead and take the vaccine and let us see how it works. A little while before we rush into it. That's true. Yes, that's the safest thing to do. Yeah, so after that now, I would say yes, everything good for those people. Then we can next year we can say, all right, come on time now, we're ready to take it there.
So I'm very much aware that quite a few of you have seen that already, right? Which is fair enough. It's all good, yeah. But like I said, that ain't nothing that we weren't saying before earlier. Sometimes you do have to trust your inner spirit. You have to trust yourself. You know, that's what I can say, man. It hasn't been a merry one, I know, right? But this is not me being the comedian, the buffoon. Okay, not this morning anyway. You know, this is me being the social commentator. This is me being the satirist. You know, because I do wish everybody has a great time, right? Especially for those of you who I won't see for the next 2 weeks, because I won't be here after next week for the next 2 weeks. Yeah. I do want you lot to have a great time with your families and everything, but yet for they're not allowing you to meet up with your families and that. Yeah, for the sake of the virus. Yeah, because they want to keep the world a safe place. But I'm saying let's look through that facade. What do they mean by keeping the world a safe place? You know, I'm not satisfied to just go along with this way of thinking. And like I said, I do want to put forward a balanced point of view, but I'm not going to share it on here just like that, because if I put something like that up in here, people are going to get the website. Then once they get the website, they're going to go and close these people down. I'm not having that. Not having it. Yeah. So if you ain't connected to the Rants and Bants, you're not get it. That's all I can say to you. If you are connected, it's going to get round to you at some point. And when you do, make sure you lock into these people. You hear? Make sure you lock in tight. Lock in tight. Yeah, because they're very informed, extremely informed. Yeah, we're talking about people, black people on the highest of levels in this world, on this planet, talking to you. Yeah, when people want to know where I get my information from and stuff like that. Why can't I back up my facts? I don't need to, because I trust those people who are talking to me. And I make up my own mind after I've listened to them. It's time you start listening to your own. Right. All I can say is Christmas. Here's your present. That's the sort of present I want to send to those people. Yeah, that's the first time I laughed this morning. Let me shut you up my back. Okay, peeps, I've got to let you guys go. Yeah, I've done an extra 15 minutes. Hopefully, I'm going to catch you guys later on. I'll be talking to Eddie Nesta. I'm going to be talking to Mark Rowe, better known as Marky Mark. Yeah, take it easy. Love all of ya. Hopefully, I'll see you guys tonight. Yeah? Yes. Check out the promos. Check out my update on my page. Do that, right? And you'll be up to speed on me. So, let's go.
Yo, some of the parents for know what you them are going with, you know. Don't just allow your youth them to roam the street. Take responsibility for the youth them. You know what I'm doing tonight? You know what I'm going tonight? Them man link up on the estate, repping to area code. The youth them won't live good out a road. Them man link up on the estate, repping to area code. The youth them won't live good out a road. Them man link up on the estate, repping to area code. The youth them won't live good out a road. Them man link up on the estate, repping to area code. The youth them won't live good out a road. Them know the war a go on, but them a left it to go on. No wicked things a go on, they when it escalate. Them know the war a go on, even before it to go on. They could have stopped it from going, but now it's too late. Everybody hear the gunshot down there, see the dead man lay down there. Hear the panic and the bawling down there, helicopter with the bright light down there. Big investigation down there, them can't find a witness down there. Strict code of silence down there, not talk to policeman down there. Everybody want run figure round there, not talk myself figure down there. Anytime you see the blue light down there, them don't have nothing for me round there. Be a chop up and shoot up down there, be a dead body lay down round there. Carnage round there, bloodshed round there, be a dead body lay down when murder commit me here a woman she a scream. Police them a come with them murder team. Me see the blue light and me hear the siren. No evidence no left on the scene. And me say down in the estate when gunshot a bark. Everybody know the gunman, nobody not talk. You talk to police and then you get your face mark. You find your body on the sidewalk. Well, now picture the scenes. The youth them a driving a car in trees with the machines. The gun them tall up through the sunroof with red laser beams. The way them a live them life nowadays is like a bad dream. Wanna see what I mean? Know the road I get hotter. Dreaming in a car with it all up tall, I'm a real top shotter. Them run the era and the estate, no one bother. Juvenile see the car and the money and the ring and them one follow. And then them a follow. So go on and get some education, get some top qualification. Put on the gun, forget the gang bang. Legal money where you want, now your hand. Flash car, house and land. You will get it if you stick to the plan. Long road, short cash, listen me no man. Them a link up on the estate. Ready?
You've only got one shot. Make it count.
What you put me on this time of morning? You're going to scare everybody. They're going to be.
What Steve McQueen did last night, yeah, was he created a fertile piece of soil for comedy. Ice skating with store dead bodies of coronavirus victims. This is more scary.
I feel like when you are speaking up for yourself, it should be unapologetic and it should be honest. I think that we all have.
This is acceptable. You can't dress like this in a Muslim society. Who's got more respect for women, the West or the East? I'm connecting dots that don't really belong there, but you understand? Because while we're busy talking about that, yeah, this a guan in Australia, this is what's going on around the world.
As more Australians head back to the office and factories, a new tool will be activated on June 1st to make enforcing pandemic distancing rules easier.
You're on your second coffee and fact. Oh my God. Listen, girl, I haven't even had a coffee. The thing is, if it wasn't for my daughter, I sent her a long text last night. But if it wasn't for my daughter, I think I would have still been asleep because she had to go to school. So she came in to say, bye, Dad. And I was like, oh my God, if she's saying bye, that means that 8:15 has gone.
Bada. You want me back here again? Part 2. Got me back in my car again. They try lock us down for the second time. We learned from the first lockdown that it's bare lies. I see presidents and ministers who's supposed to be prime both get COVID and survive, and they just fine. First it was pandemic, then it was George Floyd. Then Black Lives Matter came along to fill the void. Well, I was out there protesting with thousands of the boys, and there was no second spike, so I don't want to hear no noise. So why would they lie? What is there to gain? Flop the whole world's economy. What's the aim? To have the whole population under track and trace and control every aspect of the human race. Well, they did quite well, like it was a tight plan. But they ain't tired than these links and they ain't tired than these raps. They ain't tired of my link with Tunde in Nigeria, because he's on the ground now, and yeah, we sending him the cash. It's like, yeah, we the voice, and yeah, we making noise. I got the nation to my left, got the Panthers to my right, got the Garvites behind me just strengthening the fight. Got Kwaku on Galaxy, Billy on Omega, and got Kush TV catching every single letter done. It's time to put this thing together. I done told you this, I'm over this. You think mental health, they can cope with this? Small businesses, they feeling the hopelessness. Yeah, I got a limited. Yeah, the work's limited. Started a new limited. You know they can't limit this. I'm out here changing the rules. Don't tell your enemy when you're making them moves, boo. The public's lost faith in the governments. It's run by 2 fools, so everybody's doing what they choose. And this nurse came out and blew the whistle on them. She said, all them COVID deaths they's putting out's fake news. More like 3, not 300. Don't get me started on numbers. I was chatting to Chubby in Spanish Town. He said, cause he go and ban them. And Desi said, because he mash up the whole of London. Spanish Town dons, I'll soon come. Got some work to do here first with these new punks. You know, it's always gonna be pain when the truth comes. It's nice to see so many woke people all wanting the truth at once. Lockdown 2, episode 1. Stay tuned as they slip on them, you know this. Bada.